You're going to hear from Dr. Robert Ely, a board-certified emergency medical physician from Indiana. Dr. Kevin Boltz from San Diego, master chiropractor and alpha bioticist. Osteopathic physician and dermatologist Dr. Wendy McFalda. Naturopathic doctor, master herbalist, and old rite Catholic priest Reverend Dr. William Wong, as well as chiropractor Matt Joggles. You're also going to hear from noted author and speaker Stuart Swerdlow, who wrote the Healing Handbook, amongst many other pertinent texts. Peter Sage, master entrepreneur from the UK. Best-selling author Terry Hawkins. And best-selling author Doug Crow, who's also narrating this video. You're also going to learn the stories of cancer victim Skip Tolley and Dr. Pauline Dudgeon, a retired naturopathic physician with breast cancer. You'll also hear incredible stories of healing. A lady who was coughing up blood and diagnosed with tuberculosis in the Philippines, as well as an orphan girl in India who was on her deathbed in the hospital. None of these people has Ed ever met in person. He's healed them all over the phone, via Skype, via online chat. You're going to learn something here, friends. Stay tuned.
By the time I saw an orthopedic surgeon that I would require a hip replacement. That was the only option for me. I had subsequent consults all telling me the same thing, that I needed a hip replacement.
I was facing some issues from multiple spinal injuries, severe wear at my joints, that neither naturopathic medicine or allopathic medicine had any treatments or cures for, except for surgery, and even that, the surgery was iffy.
I have had low back issues for almost 20 years now from an old car accident, and neck issues, which was the reason I got into chiropractic. And something that was really bothering me was extreme fatigue. I'm always tired.
But the last 3 or 4 years, I've been noticing that my back is getting more sore and more sore, and my neck has started bothering me a bit.
I had a series of health challenges from my eyes, my high blood pressure, my kidneys. I had developed a tremendous weight gain.
My left knee, which was causing me a lot of pain and discomfort, and my back as well particularly was, I have real problems with that, causing me a lot of pain.
It was really bothering me the last week or so, the severe excruciating left-sided back pain and left knee pain.
I went to the orthopedic surgeon and I asked him what is wrong with my knee. It's just out of nowhere it just started to inflame the size of a grapefruit, and it was throbbing, and I was in tremendous pain 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
I couldn't actually get off the couch for a couple of weeks. Went through the typical rehab and got the knee actually functioning supposedly better than it was before. The pain was gone, but the actual function of the knee was not even close to what it was before the accident. I couldn't run anymore. I gained extra weight, and all the rehab in the world didn't get it to where it should have been.
My condition just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So I went to about 4 different GPs and nothing was, no answers. Then I decided to go to a specialist. And the specialist took one look at me and said, well, I think you've got Crohn's disease.
So I was starting to get to a point where a lot of things weren't working. You know, I was doing all of the right things. I was placing the right steps in front of each other. I was doing the mechanics, but no matter what happened, no matter how good the deals looked, they weren't really falling into place. And I got a sense that there was something deeper going on.
I was in a really bad place at the time. I was depressed. I was really unsure about my business. I was in a lot of pain. And basically, I was just feeling like a loser.
I'm about to conduct an event, and my adrenals are completely depleted. I am dizzy to the point where I could not stand up. I have people flying in from all over the world to attend one of my events. As an author, as a speaker, and as a trainer, I obviously care about these people and I want to serve. And I literally got down on my knees and I prayed that my body would recover. Physiologically, I'd somehow tormented myself. mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physiologically. My body was literally shutting down.
I was feeling really depressed in a way I hadn't ever in my life. I was facing a lot of personal challenges. I was dealing with a critically ill family member, and I was exhausted. I was barely making it through my day. I was having a really hard time trying to find anything that would change that for me.
I had been to 2 specialists at this point because I would get better and then I get worse, and then I get better and then I get worse. And then I found this other doctor who was a specialist. You know, she'd written books and the whole thing, and she lectured at university. So I thought, well, she must know. She must be able to help me feel better. And she said, I'll have you feeling like a 35-year-old. And I've got to admit, there was a period there for about 4 or 5 months where I actually did feel like a 35-year-old. My weight dropped off. I just felt incredible. I had so much energy. But of course, it returned to normal. And I remember her saying, it's going to wear off because your body's going to get used to the drugs. And there was something inside of me all along that felt I didn't have an illness. These were symptoms of something else.
5 years ago, my foot started to hurt. And it was actually excruciating. I could hardly walk. Even just laying in bed at night, the pain would get worse. On a scale of 0 to 10, it was a 9, possibly more sometimes. I went to many doctors, massage therapists, all kinds of therapies, alternative healing. Nothing really helped me. One of the major issues I had was about 1.5 years ago, I ripped a bicep muscle and tore a ligament in my left arm. And of course, medical professionals said that I would need surgery to correct it and that it would never look the same or feel the same. And I refused to accept this. But I, even with my own healing work, could not get it to be the way I wanted it to be.
This pain I was experiencing was severe, to say the least. I was on 3 different medications just to try to curb it, but it was still painful. At a point where it's a pulled muscle, so you try to start working through that, but it increases. So I wanted to go a natural route and was going to my chiropractor and acupuncturist, and nothing seemed to help, and it just kept getting worse. So I'm thinking, I've had injuries in the past, so what is this? What is going on? And finally, like my friend, my chiropractor, he said, let's get an MRI and let's knock that out, and we'll show that there's nothing. There's nothing there. And they found this mass on my spine that I had stage 4 cancer.
I'm a naturopath, spiritual healer, and a trained nurse. I was diagnosed with cancer, which had metastasised to my spine and pelvis. So it was originally breast cancer. I had a tumour. The tumour was, one tumour was pressing on my spine, and impeding on the nerve, which was interfering with my walking.
To Hannah Josephine, 49 years old female, who came in for complaints of cough noted last March 2017. She was seen by a private physician and was diagnosed with pulmonary tuberculosis.
In the 2016, in the month of July, my child Ramya was abruptly fell ill. Immediately I rushed her into the doctor and diagnosed her that her platelets were going down and reaching to the worst. He was giving lots of medicines, but no use. And I was spending all the money that I had, and I borrowed money and given to the treatment. 3 days later, I saw her condition was worse than the first day.
Roberta, nice to meet you. Our first meeting.
That's right.
Correct, but we have worked together now for over a month.
Yes.
And when Roberta came to me, she came to me with fibromyalgia, lupus, very depressed, very frustrated, taking all these medications, and really low energy, right?
Extremely.
If you remember the analogy, I said it's like a flower with a dark blanket over it.
Correct.
Right? And so the flower can't get the sunlight, can't come back to life. The universal energy field and Mother Earth are the only 2 energies that heal, and they are incredibly powerful. Right?
They are powerful.
Yeah. then what happened once you learned to do that? What happened to your energy levels?
It really went high. And the more that I practiced everything that you told me what to do, and I did it exactly the way you told me to, and in a matter of no time, it went from 0 to like 75%.
Right. So, in effect, what Roberta learned is to get her body back on what we call a divine frequency. We each have a magical frequency that our body resonates in. We're electrical machines. Just like an antenna has a resonant frequency, our body has a resonant frequency. Each organ has resonant frequencies. And so getting your body aligned with the right vibrations, just like when a flower gets aligned with the right level of sunlight, that flower blossoms. Same thing with your body. So we never touched, we strictly by phone, but we could do this energy work at a distance. And the fact is, you were in New York. We're in New York at Roberta's home now. I was in Florida, but it just doesn't matter.
No, and I still felt that you touched me, but I felt you touching me within my soul.
Right.
Not really touching me like a touch or a handshake or anything like that, but I still felt your presence.
Because all healing begins with the soul. Once you heal the soul, the mind and body follow.
That I'd been to GPs, general practitioners, I'd been to specialist doctors, gastroenterologists, I'd been to herbologists, nutritionists. I tried them all. Spent thousands of dollars on, supplements and treatments and all the rest. And I knew immediately that it was something more than just what they could give me on the physical level.
What did you learn? What did I teach you?
So what you taught me was how to connect to the infinite energy all around me, how to raise my vibrations.
Right.
Okay. And
what's the purpose of raising your vibrations?
So the purpose of raising your vibrations is to repel negative energies, to transform energies, and to align.
Correct. How do you do that?
So this is very difficult for me, and one of the things that Ed said specifically, to still your mind and listen to your heart. And it was very difficult for me because I am an intellectual and I do think. And the advice he gave me was, picture me standing behind you, and every time your mind starts working, you get a kick somewhere. And it worked. It really worked.
So the key here is what I did with him is I removed the witchcraft, session 1, removed the dark energy. But that's only part of it, because now we've got to retrain his mind and retrain his body to come back to health. Perfect health is a natural state. It is not an unnatural state. If we're not in perfect health, it's because something is blocking us, or there's a force acting on us that is disruptive. Just like calm water is a natural state. If it's rough water, there's a force acting on it, right? Same thing. So we had to get him to connect to the infinite. And if you think about your energy, think about your heart, it connects through the top of your head. Well, if your head's busy thinking, it gets blocked. So this is why the monks go to Tibet and meditate for 20 years and master that stillness. Well, you don't have to go there for 20 years. You just need a little bit of discipline, a little bit of breath. And then I have higher connections to higher dimensions of energy. So by working with Matt and him following my instruction, he was able to follow and connect to those higher dimensions at all. Those higher dimensions could then literally invigorate, illuminate his cells, reinvigorate his organs, his glands, and get all the dark energies off. As well, you learn to what we call clean your house, which is all the, in your case, 30 years of emotions and negative energies and fights with parents and mistakes and so forth. That's heavy dark energy that we carry with us. We've got to clean it up. We've learned to brush our teeth. We've learned to bathe. Most of us have never learned to clean up our energy field, to clean up our emotions. So most of us sweep it under the carpet, but we carry that with us.
Ed Structure conducted a session for Ramya. To my surprise, after 1 hour, she was awake and she was smiling. Immediately, I rushed to her hospital laboratory, to check her platelets level. I was wonderstruck to see the platelet levels, and they have become as normal as any human being, and she was completely aware and awake, and she was able to eat. This was a great experience with my brother and healer head stretcher.
I have a friend in Facebook named Ed Stretcher. He is a healer, so I contacted him and asked for help. He gave us instructions on what we needed to do, so my mom and I followed it. After a few minutes, we felt there were changes and felt lightness in our body. I can feel that something changed in my body. I felt as if I was not sick at all.
So we had her chest x-ray taken last August to be evaluated by the TB Diagnostic Committee. The radiologist read it as fibroids of the right upper lung, so there was no treatment needed. This means that the condition resolved eventually and just had scars, miraculously, even without TB medications. So the patient is now declared well, essentially well, and fit to work.
Thank you, Sir Ed. Thank you, Sir Ed, because you help a lot. My mother is happy and well now. I am so grateful to you and hope you can help more people with your work.
I now am completely pain-free in my left hip. My left knee moves like I can't remember it moving. There's no limitations. I have full range of motion without any discomfort at all.
For the first time in, at the time, maybe 6.5 years, I slept and I rested. It was pretty amazing. It was profound to me that I knew that it worked. And right now, I'm pain-free. I'm 100%. It's badass. Sorry. I don't know. It's just amazing. It really is amazing. These doctors at Hopkins, they had me written off. Stage 4. They were looking around, wondering where my crutches were. How could I walk? This is my bones, my hips. It's pretty unbelievable when you think about it. I was walking at 4.5 miles a day, full tilt. And it was like, well, how you walking? I'm like, walking great, walk anybody in the hospital.
My breast lump, which they didn't take out because I had the metastases, that had decreased in size significantly. My pain had disseminated, and also I could walk a lot better because I hadn't been able to walk without assistance.
Faith healing, you can imagine my medical mind going, yeah, right. But I was at that point of desperation where I gave it a try anyway. In the 4 sessions, my old man walk from the spinal stenosis turned into a 3-foot stride, a painless 3-foot stride. My neurogenic claudication, which means that you can't stand up for too long before your nerves start cutting off and start causing pain, it's just about disappeared. The range of motion at my severely worn shoulder is now much better. The pain is much better. I continue working on it, and each time I do, it gets a little bit better and better and better.
With 1 session with Ed, again, my foot pain is down to near 0 at times and not more than 2. I can walk, I can bend my foot, not a problem anymore. It's absolutely incredible. And I felt very strange sensations in my left bicep, as if something was filling it up and fixing it and correcting it. And if you could possibly see, the muscle is starting to come back and everything is starting to fill in, and I can still feel movement within, knowing that very soon it will be completely healed and back to normal again. Contrary to what conventional medicine would say.
I cannot begin to tell you the difference that I felt afterwards. I mean, I felt lighter. I was smiling again. I wasn't just smiling for the sake of being, smiley, because I felt like I had a smile. I was truly feeling happy, light, and so much more like myself since I was a kid.
After my first session with Ed, I immediately felt lighter. Yeah, there was like an energy had been lifted. It's like I'd let go of a lot of stuff, or a lot of stuff had been lifted out of the way. And again, this is experiential. you can't document this if you're trying to look at it from the Newtonian physics paradigm, because it's not going to make sense. Neither does it have to. Things started to flow. Deals started to come together. Business started to improve and increase when it had been flatlining the previous 12 months.
One of the things I noticed right away is that the next day after I would work with Ed, I noticed an influx of new patients and people coming to see me. People I hadn't heard from in a while would call me and say, hey, I need to get back in there. Can I come in? And I was busy. I was busier than what I normally am. I normally have a pretty decent practice, but I was busier. And I kind of equated, well, the energy I'm putting out to the universe right now is one of love and connection rather than being disconnected. And that attracts people to your environment.
Can I just say, I have never, ever felt more amazing. So now it's whatever it is. I think I've been off medication for probably, it's coming up to nearly 12 months. And I feel sensational. Honestly, I've had energy, I'm positive, I'm quite calm. I still get angry, of course, I'm still a normal person. But I've got to tell you that when I continue the path of what Ed has taught me and do the disciplines, because there is a discipline required, then my life is amazing.
Everything started to go back to normal. My knees started to heal, my back started to heal, just felt so much better in myself. My vibration started to rise, and I've had some great opportunities coming out of the woodwork towards me. So it's been a new learning experience. We're definitely embracing a lot more of what Ed teaches, but in terms of his healing practice, I can definitely speak wholeheartedly for that. So
when Ed did the first healing on me, I felt this literally this heaviness lift. And I started to feel again. And as we did the subsequent 2 sessions, I could feel the energy moving through my body. I could feel the heat. And I could just literally feel the energy. And I never met him. We did all the work via phone and via Facebook.
My low back is solid. I have no problems with it whatsoever. I don't have to worry about at work, is it going to go out? Or if I'm working out, if I'm not going to be able to walk the next day, I go practice soccer with my daughter, no issues whatsoever. My neck, it's not 100% better, but it's 70% better, and that makes my life a lot easier. My energy levels, that's the most amazing part. That is exponential now. I don't feel like I got hit by a truck when I wake up in the morning. I wake up, I don't feel like I need a nap. And I have a lot of energies. So thank you very much, Ed.
I could basically turn my neck about 20, 30 degrees to the left before it got locked. And then right afterwards, I could bring it all the way to about 90 degrees, which it still is to this point. There's still soreness there, but I have much better range of motion, which really matters to me.
One morning I woke up with incredible chest pain anterior chest radiating across my shoulders. And I was trying to settle myself down all the time, feeling like I may need to go to emerge, but also denying the fact that I had experienced it once before. I'd had a heart attack, and this was the same. I turned my phone on, and there was a message from Ed, one of his little happy face stickers that he sends me often. And I reached out to Ed, and within 20 minutes of talking to him, communicating to him, my chest pain had dissipated. I was breathing easily, and I was just so grateful for this man in my life.
He gave me a process, and then he sent me the recording. I so wish I could share it with you, because it would blow you away. Blow you away with its sincerity, its integrity, and its expertise. Not only with the intellect behind it, but the knowledge, the masters that he studied with. And then he's taken the information and made it available to people in a simple way, an elegant way where they can still their mind and still their body and recover. I not only made it through the event, but I was able to serve on a level that perhaps I've never served before.
Well, what I did not feel was that constant pain that was there, and the size of the knee in the back and below it that was blown up, inflamed, the size of a grapefruit, as I mentioned, it was gone. My knee felt strong and normal.
After our first session, things started changing. I felt better. I had more energy. I learned techniques that I know work, and I have my hope back. I am very, very energetic during the day. I'm very focused. I'm positive. I feel like a new person, and yet I feel like the best version of myself I've been in a long time.
I can get up now. I can get up now without using my hands. Look at this. Woo! I couldn't do that before. I had to grunt and groan and go like an old man. Now I can jump around. I can bend. I can do anything. Man, 3 weeks ago I couldn't do this.
He was having another webinar, and he sent me the link for it, but I said, I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to participate because at the time I was in Baltimore for airway course, and I'd be on a plane at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time when this started. And I'm seeing you're 30,000, 40,000 feet in the air. How the universe works, I was able to hook into that while I was on the plane. Going through the different sessions, we try to send some positive energy and love to those particular portions of our body that may be ailing us or we'll feel sick. And my pain, by the time I landed in Chicago, my pain in my left lower back, my pain in my left knee, it almost completely dissipated. And all that overwhelming fear and anxiety and stress in every cell of my body was totally gone.
It's really important that I have a thriving health, that I have high amounts of energy, and that I don't need lots of sleep, and that I can perform 365 days a year. I have to be on top of my game. So that's why I work with Ed Stracher. He is a brilliant man, and he really knows and helps me to stay on top of my game and to make sure that I'm not just healthy, that I'm not just, going through the motions. No, that I'm really vital. I have high levels of energy, and I feel like I can take on the world, because that's what I do with my business and with all the people that I work with.
He was probably one of the best, and he was definitely the best healer that I had come in contact with.
I have to say that I have been doing energy work since I was 12. I've been meditating since I was 12 when I started martial arts. I have been, I thought, fairly well advanced in the techniques of energy gathering and meditation, but I wasn't anywhere compared to where Ed taught me how to get to.
I will be forever indebted to Ed. I think that he is such a gift to our planet, and I'm really, really looking forward to the day that the world, and I think it's happening actually, starts to wake up to the fact that we do not need pharmaceutical medicine always.
Ed is a very special one. He can connect us with things we never knew existed, and I've never heard from anyone that the result is less than absolutely spectacular.
You'll never forget it, and you'll never regret it. He's absolutely amazing.
He's the man, and that's the truth. Really is.
He's just the best healer I have ever met. I can say that without any qualms at all. He's just brilliant.